All right, welcome back, guys. So this time around we are treating why trade forex. That is, why do we trade forex? Why would I prefer to trade forex as against trading something else? Why don't I just go and sell pepper in the market? The money I'm going to use to trade forex, the money I'm investing in trading forex, why don't I invest it in cocoyam and plantain? You know, import plantain from Russia and come and sell in Nigeria. So why do we want to trade forex is what we'll be looking at in a bit now. Now, one of the major reasons why we want to trade forex is because the market is a 24-hour market. The market is open 24 hours. It is not closed. 24 hours, 5 days a week. Okay, 24 hours, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, the market is open. So you can trade any time of the day, morning, afternoon, night, midnight, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. If you understand the sessions that are open and that is the session you like to trade, you are free to trade at any time. There is no closing time. It's not a area market. It is not Oja Oba or something. It would have to, those markets will have to close at a point, but the forex market never closes. It is always open. Another reason why we want to trade forex is the high liquidity that you have in forex market. High liquidity. High liquidity. What does it mean for something to be highly liquid or to have high liquidity? It means that there is enough money on the table. There's enough money on the table. Sorry, ma, forgive my spelling of money. Oh, please spell it anyhow you can. Enough money on the table. So, the Nigerian Stock Exchange. In fact, let me forget about the Nigerian Stock Exchange because those ones every day they are bringing one confusion or the other. Today they go up, tomorrow they go down. The U.S. Stock Exchange does about 24 billion US dollar every day in trade. 24 billion dollars daily. Meanwhile, the entire stock exchanges in the world, the US dollar, the the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the Japan Stock Exchange, whatever that one is called, all the stock exchanges in the world put together do a little less than $300 billion in trade. All the stock exchanges in the world do a little less than $300 billion in trade every blessed day. That's a lot of money. $300 billion. If I want to convert this to naira, I am looking at some crazy trillions of naira. Okay, but when you compare that to what happens in forex, it becomes significantly small amount of money. Forex does about $8 trillion. See, I'm encountering too much dollars. I don't even know how to spell anymore. $8 trillion every blessed day. $8 trillion is not cake money. That is a lot of dough. Now, $8 trillion on the table to be shared by forex traders, including you when you start trading, and me that is currently trading, and Donald Trump, and name them. Anybody who is trading forex in the world, from any corner of the world that they might be trading from, are sharing. We are all sitting on the same table. This is not one of those tables you want to shake anyhow. For those of you who like to shake tables, this one is not one of those tables you want to shake anyhow. There's a lot of money on this table. You shake it anyhow, you lose money. Okay, so this is a highly liquid market. A lot of money is changing hand in a matter of seconds. So if you know what you are doing and you know how to do it, a good percentage of this $8 trillion, okay, maybe not a good percentage, a small percentage of this $8 trillion, in fact, 0.2% would still do you a whole lot of good. Okay, 0.2% will still do you a whole lot of good of this money. In fact, 0.02% will change your life forever of $8 trillion. So what am I saying in essence? There is a lot of money to be made in forex, and that is why a lot of people, including myself, trade forex, and that is probably why you are here learning about forex trading today. Now, apart from this, we also have what we call low barriers to entry. Low barriers to entry. low barriers to entry. Number one, you have a 24-hour market. Number two, there's high liquidity. You have low barrier to entry as well, which means it doesn't take anything. You don't have to do any serious, exotic registration to be able to trade in the forex market. All you need is just your basic information. Register with a broker, put a little money on your broker account. In fact, you don't even have to put all your investment. You can just put a test money. It's like you can just put as little as $100, even $50. In fact, there are some brokers that will allow you to even put as little as $10 self to even test the water. So you really do not need too much money. So there's very little barriers to entry in the forex market. And then when you're taking a trade, it is executed instantly for you. There is no middleman or broker that is going to waste your time going around and asking you for commissions and all that nonsense. No, it's a straightforward market where you are trading with serious people and serious businesses. So there is very little restriction in the forex market. Now, apart from that, there are no middlemen, and there is very little or no commission. Very little or no commission. That is, if you even have to pay commission or transaction cost of taking trades at all, it will be very, very little compared to what you are going to make. If you know what you are doing, the cost of taking trades or the commission on trades is very minimal, such that it can be ignored. It is, how do we speak the English? It is ignorable. Yes, it is ignorable. Okay, and apart from that, you also have the fact that there is no fixed lot size. There is no fixed lot size. There is no fixed lot size. You can trade whatever it is that you are comfortable with, whatever it is that your money can trade. While somebody else has $100 in his account, another person can have $1,000, another person can have $10,000, while another person has $1 million, and all of you are trading on the same currency. You are trading at your own level. You will make your profit at your own level as well. But bear in mind that the higher your equity, that is, the more money you have in account to trade with, the more profits you can possibly make, on those your trades as well. So we just have to bear those in mind as well, while we say that there are no fixed lot size. Now, another major reason is that there are free stuffs everywhere. There are free stuff everywhere. You can learn. You have stuffs to learn about how to trade. And we talked about Google being your best friend. Yes. So you have resources like Google.com. And one major website where you can learn a lot about forex is babypips.com. babypips.com. And then you can also check your brokers websites. Some of them have educational material there. Brokers websites. Okay, so you have a lot of places where you can learn information from Google and other search engines. For those of you who don't like Google, but I don't know if there's anybody who doesn't like Google, but if you don't like Google, then you can use any other search engine. Yahoo, Bing. I think Yahoo is now Bing. Okay, Bing is Microsoft. Okay, Yahoo, Bing, Dogpile, whatever search engine you want to use them. Search for anything on forex. And by the way, the assignment I gave under currencies and currency pair, you can use any of the search engines to find answers to those assignments. Why am I even giving you expo to my own questions? Anyways, that's by the way. So these are the basic informations about why you want to trade forex and why it is advisable to trade forex as against other how do I put it, other businesses that are done online. So I'm going to make this very short. In the next video, we'll be talking about the players in the forex market. The players in the forex market. See you soon. All right, people, welcome back to class. So in the last video, we talked about why we want to trade forex. So we've talked about the what. We've talked about the whiches, that is the which and which, that is the currency pairs and currency types. We've talked about the why we trade forex. Now we are going to the who trades forex. who are the people, who are the players in the forex market, who are those involved in trading forex. And that's what we're doing right now. So forex, like we said, is the exchange of one country's currency for another, and that will mean that the people who are involved in trading forex would have to be people who are interested in foreign exchange business. And the first set of people who are always interested in foreign exchange businesses are who? That's right, the banks. The banks. The banks are the first set of people who are interested in foreign exchange businesses, because that's the first point of call when you need a different country's currency. They have access to all the currencies of the world. So we have some major banks in the world, not Nigerian banks. None. We have some major banks in the world, like the HSCB or the HSCB. We have the HSCB. You have Barclays. You have some major international banks, okay, that are involved in trading forex. And besides those, so you have the major banks. Let me take those notes down. The major banks, these are the first set of people who are involved in trading forex. And then after those, you now have countries and their central banks. Countries and their central banks. Okay, countries and the central bank, like the United States Reserve, the Nigerian Central Bank, the Central Bank of Nigeria, and other central banks like that. They are also involved in trading currencies. When they have an intercontinental international deal where a country is giving aid to another country, or they are doing currency swap, like what just happened between Nigeria and China, each time those transactions happen, it impacts heavily on the forex market, because those currencies that are involved in those transactions get the effect and the impact of those exchanges or those transactions that occur. So forex, what's it called? Countries and their CBNs are major players in the forex market. And then apart from those, we also have some major corporations. Now let's take, for instance, in Nigeria, where you have the Dangote is trying to build a refinery in Nigeria. Am I right? The Dangote is trying to build a refinery in Nigeria. Now every time Dangote has to bring in any equipment or any parts or any pieces of the refinery or anything at all from outside the country to fix up his refinery, he would have to pay huge foreign currencies to be able to get those things in, because you're not going to go to the US dollar and buy refinery equipment in Naira. No, nobody will collect your Naira there. So you'd have to change to the US dollar and pay in US dollar at the other end. And you're paying a lot of money for those equipment. So those major corporations, for instance, you have Apple, who has factories in China. Now, if they are going to pay salaries in China, they're not going to pay their staff salaries in the US dollar in China. No, they are going to pay them in the Chinese currency. So they are going to be bringing things from different parts of the world, from Taiwan, from Nigeria, buying parts, building bringing raw materials from different areas. All those materials they have to pay for in the currency of those nations where they're getting them from. And that, my friend, is where the forex market is impacted by major corporations. Now, apart from major corporations, we also have our commercial banks, including Nigerian commercial banks as well. We have commercial banks. Don't mind my writing. I'm writing with my finger on the tablet, so it could be very ugly sometimes. But sincerely, I have a very, very fine handwriting. Okay, back to the topic at hand. So commercial banks. Commercial banks are some of the major players in forex market as well, because they are the ones that stand as middlemen to effect the exchange. For instance, now if you are going to pay into your broker account, you are not going to carry dollar, take a plane to the broker head office and go and put the money there in your brokerage account. No, they are going to go through your bank. So you are going to exchange the dollar, probably go to a bureau de change, switch your Naira to dollar, take the dollar to your bank, deposit it into your domiciliary account, and from there transfer to your broker. Or alternatively, you simply switch I mean, take your Naira, depending on the kind of the bank you are using, deposit your Naira into your account, and then do a transfer from there to your broker account, who doesn't have, if the broker does not have a Nigerian account, then the bank does the switching and the transaction and all those things, exchange of the currency from your Naira to the dollar that is deposited. I mean, that has to be deposited in your account, and then the dollar is, reflects in your account. You don't know how that happens, but the banks take care of that. All that is still part of Forex transaction. Now, the next set of people are the brokers. The brokers. Now, I remember I said when we were talking about why we trade Forex that there are no middlemen. And then I know you want to ask, if there are no middlemen, who are brokers? Well, I don't like to refer to brokers as middlemen. No, I'd rather like to refer to them as transaction points. Okay, transaction points. Now, a broker is somebody who helps to connect traders. The broker helps to connect traders. For instance, remember I said we make money in Forex by buying and selling. So every time you are buying the currency, somebody else is selling on the other end. If there's no seller, if you have 22 bars of yam and nobody is willing to sell a pair of shoe, you cannot get a pair of shoe for your yam, even in trade by barter. So as a result of that, every time there's a buying, there has to be a selling. Every time there's a selling, there has to be a buying. So before you can make money, both buying and selling must take place simultaneously. They have to happen simultaneously. So brokers are those people who hold records of all traders that are available or registered through them. So they know people who want to buy and they know people who want to sell. So the moment you click on a buy, they quickly find somebody else who is willing to sell, and then they swap your transaction. So this happens in milliseconds. So that is why it is easy for you. You don't really see all that work or the activities going on in the background. You just see the switch. You click a buy and it's executed immediately, and your trade starts running, positive or negative. You make your money, you close your trade, you click a close and it closes immediately. So the broker is the one responsible for handling that. We're going to talk more about broker later on in the course of this program. We'll deal with them extensively. So apart from brokers, we now have the retailers. That is me and you. The retailers, me and you, we are the ones that are called the retailers, and we are in it for the money. Okay, we are here to make money. So we trade with whatever we have to be able to make whatever we can in the Forex market, at least get a share of the $8 trillion that is on the table. So these are the major players in the Forex market. There are still a few other, bureau de changes, for instance, are also part of those players. We can also refer to them as retailers as well, and so on and so forth. So that is that about the who. In the next video, we're going to be talking about when. We've talked about what, we've talked about why, we've talked about who, we've talked about which. Now we're going to be talking about when. All right, so that having been said, I'm going to end this video here and see you in the next video when we talk about when do we trade Forex.